Welcome to Horizons. We are here at a time when we can make a real difference. We are emerging from 15 months of pandemic that shook our families, our communities, and our nation to the core. More than 600,000 Americans have died. More than 33 million Americans have been infected with this deadly virus, and the economic costs have been enormous. More than a third of the 22 million jobs lost since February 2020 still haven't returned, and entire industries have been devastated. Women are dropping out of the workforce, facing financial pressures more severe than ever. Those hit hardest have been and continue to be those who have historically been left behind. Critical questions of racial equity and justice are being asked with new urgency. So here and now, thousands of us are joining together to help overcome the obstacles of this unique time, to help people get the skills and education they need for jobs that become careers and help families thrive. With us today are employers implementing worker-centered policies, policymakers examining how to encourage an equitable economic recovery, investors scaling new solutions to drive economic advancement, philanthropists working to design and scale new approaches, advocates pushing harder to move beyond the status quo, and practitioners who are working directly with learners and workers every day. Anika, Dallas, and Tamisha in our opening video are proof of what we can accomplish together. We are learning together and innovating together in new dynamic ways. We're powered by technology and systems that simply didn't exist even a decade ago, and now they connect us and drive us in this important work. And each of us, as individuals, as organizations, has the opportunity and the obligation to lead. Each of us brings different perspectives, experience, and expertise to the table, and it will take leadership from all of us to meet these challenges at this time of rapid change. That's why we've designed Horizons to be a powerful convener intended to nurture and promote new thinking and collaborations that make a difference in people's lives. In today's conversations, we will hear from an amazing set of leaders as they reflect on what they have learned in the past year and what this moment in time means for us in the education and workforce field. What does it take to build an anti-racist education and workforce system? What are corporations doing to advance Black, Latinx, and Indigenous workers? How are businesses like Verizon joining with educators to teach new skills? How are foundations like the Schultz Family Foundation evolving their approach to philanthropy and responding to the pandemic and racial reckoning of this past year? We will hear tomorrow from 3 members of President Biden's cabinet, the Secretaries of Education, Labor, and Commerce. And today we'll hear from former Governor Kasich on what it takes from individuals, communities, and government to build a stronger economy. There are urgent issues we must confront in this moment. Awareness of gaps in racial and economic equity is at a new level, but how do we turn awareness to action that will close those gaps? We have new leadership here in our nation's capital. How can we advance truly transformational paths forward? In an era of CEO activism, how can we drive changes truly centered on workers? And as Andrew Yang told us last year at Horizons, COVID brought 10 years of changes in 10 weeks. With the future of work arriving faster than expected, how can we move faster towards equitable solutions? As I told members of the US Senate, and I tell you today, our current education and workforce systems are not adequate for the demands of today or the future. Last week marked 30 years since I started my career in workforce as a 22-year-old at the US Department of Labor. And when I look back across those decades, I certainly can identify opportunities that we missed, as well as opportunities that we seized that led to transformative results. 30 years from now, when we look back at this time, what do we want to see? I think we want to be able to say that we really went for it. So as leaders, let's hold each other accountable. Let's keep pushing forward ideas, solutions, and policies that make a real and equitable difference. As our nation reopens, this is a time for hope and urgency. We've got to keep asking the hard questions. We've got to keep challenging stale thinking and the status quo. With courage and conviction, with dedication and spirit, We can work together to advance new ideas, effective policies, and life-changing programs. The workers and learners in this country deserve our best, and that's what we must provide. The future is up to us. I hope you come away from Horizons inspired, motivated, and emboldened. And a huge thank you to our sponsors who make this event possible and enable us to make it free for all.